My story, I was a bit worried about coming up and telling my story because it's really quite boring compared to a lot of them. I didn't really have a weight problem until I was 30. I'm 35 now. I'd always been a huge eater, had a massive appetite. I would eat a large Domino's pizza all to myself with sides and never really put a lot of weight on. So I'd never considered myself as having a weight problem. And then when I turned 30, for some reason, something happened. I didn't feel particularly depressed. I don't think my eating changed dramatically, but the weight just started to creep on. I was doing a bit of binging, and I've told a few people in the past that I didn't used to have sweets or crisps in the house because it would cause me to eat them all at once. So if I had a craving for something, I would have to eat whatever was there, and that would mean that I would sit with a jar of jam and a spoon, and I would eat all of that. And if I hadn't got a headache by the end of that, then I would maybe go and eat 8 meringue nests all at once, and I would eat them standing over the sink so that the crumbs didn't go all down my top. And then I really would have a headache, so then I'd go out and I'd go to the Co-op and buy 8 meringue nests and a jar of jam to replace what I'd eaten, so I didn't have to tell my husband. And this all happened from pretty much the day I was 30. And by the time I was 34, I just turned 34, I'd put on 3 stone. So in 4 years, I'd put 3 stone on. And I have this issue. Some people look in the mirror and they see a huge fat person. I actually was looking in the mirror and seeing a fairly slim person. And I would look at myself and think, oh, it's not too bad. And it's only when I look at photos, and that was actually, I'd lost a little bit by then because I didn't have any photos. I destroyed them all because I felt I looked so awful in photos. But when I looked at myself in the mirror, I didn't think I looked that bad. And I was at work one day, this was just before I found Easyloss, and someone was asking someone, oh, who do you mean? Which Emma do you mean? And the other person said, you know, the chubby one with the bad skin. And I just, oh, she can't mean me. And she did mean me. I had a skin problem at the time as well, so that wasn't helping. I thought, oh my God, that's how people see me, as the chubby one with the bad skin. So this has to stop. And I made a mistake. This was a year before, and I spent a year crash dieting, really crash dieting, starving myself, just drinking Cambridge shakes, slim fast. So I'd gone from someone who'd never really dieted to a real drastic weight loss. I actually lost the 3 stone that I put on very, very quickly with Cambridge, and then put 3.5 back on almost as quickly in that year. So I lost 3 stone and put 3.5 back on within a year. So I had same story. I had an iPhone for Christmas, and in the next few months I started to look at apps I wanted. I only ever buy free apps because I'm really stingy. So when this came along and I saw it was a few pounds, I thought, I just can't justify spending a few pounds on myself. It's too much money. I've never spent money on an app before. So I didn't. I delayed it and delayed it. And then finally in April last year, I just thought, you know what, this is cheaper than a week at Slimming World or whatever. So I did it, and I bought the app. And it was really like a light bulb moment for me. I was only listening to the hypnosis for a couple of months, and I'd done quite well. I wasn't really following the guidelines. And I was going on holiday. I don't know whether you remember this. I was going on holiday to America in the July of last year. And it was a 3-week holiday in Florida. And I had that mentality. I thought, oh God, I'm going to undo. I'd lost about half a stone by then. So I emailed Sue and I just said, can I just ask for a bit of advice? I'm going on holiday. I'm doing really well on the app, but I'm worried I'm going to sabotage it all. And she rang me. I don't know whether you realise that I was in Tesco's at the time. And she rang me on my phone and gave me a real bollocking about, you know, what do you think, what are you talking about? You're going on holiday, you're going to one of the most fantastic places, you're going to take your children. That's what a holiday is about. It's not about eating shit and eating too much. Why would you want to do that to yourself? And have you looked at the guidelines, she was saying, and she was really giving me, and I just thought, you know, I've spent this whole, these few months, she may have said that actually, And I was trying to keep it quiet because I was walking around Tesco's going, yes, I get that, yes, thank you. And but it really did me some good, because I think what I'd been doing is I was only doing the subconscious bit. I'd been listening to the hypnosis, but I was expecting that to do everything for me, and I hadn't been consciously following the guidelines. From then on, I did follow the guidelines. I went on holiday to America. I ate what I wanted. I stopped when I was no longer hungry, and I lost 3 pounds while I was in America for 3 weeks. And it's really been a huge eye-opener for me. And I've lost 2.5 to 3 stone. I'm not really sure exactly, and I think possibly I've put a couple of pounds back on and then lost it again, but I stay around the same weight now since October last year, and I've kept it off now for a whole year. And I do still occasionally listen to Sue because it helps me get to sleep. I still consciously follow the guidelines, and obviously I come on the group every day, and I find that really, really useful. That's my story.